So in today's tutorial, I'm going to guide you guys step by step how to create a scene like this using PCG, and we'll be using the part tracking, and also we'll be using Grammer to achieve this. Okay, so with that said, let me just switch to the Epic Games launcher and let me just create a new project. Uh, so I'm using Unreal Engine 5.1, 5.5.1, and just create a blank project. So let me just put it as PCG path tracking. So maybe we'll remove just the part tracker. So we'll keep put it like part tracker, part tracking, and grammar. Okay. So let me just create a blank project, games as the title, and let me just create. So the project is almost ready. So let me just share my screen. So here you can find, so the first thing first. So let me just go to the plugins, search for PCG. So we'll just enable the plugin and it asks for a restart. Let me just do the restart. This is done. Let me just share again. So here we are. So we have enable the plugin, and for the demonstration, I'm going to use few assets. So I have downloaded those assets from the bridge. So if you just go to the 3D assets, so for demonstration, buildings, we have some pillars. So once downloaded, it will be in the local. So I'll be using this door for the demonstration part. Also these walls, and let me just import few more assets. Uh, Let me just. We have a sandbag. As I said, we'll be using for the barrier thing, right? Okay. And that should be okay. So with that said, let me just save this level. This is the next thing that you need to do once you create a project. So let me put it as PCG. So we'll use grammar for the demonstration. Okay. And new folder and name it as PCG. So before going into the grammar demonstration, we need to create data asset for it. So let me just create a structure with struct. So we shall create a string and name it as symbol, and we'll create another variable and we'll put it as mesh, and we'll make it as of data type static mesh. So once it is done, we'll save. So we'll be using this data to create organize. So let me just create a blueprint class and put it as primary. It is of type primary data set. So data asset. So we are creating a structure for it. Um, we'll keep it like an array. So we'll rename it to be meshes. Uh, we put it as grammar meshes. So we need to make sure this is this keep it short. Okay. Okay. So yes, we have created a save. And then we'll create data set. We'll keep it the grammar data set. Select yes. So we'll work like meshes. Yes. So we have one. We need the symbol to be gate and then just go to the door asset which we have added. Okay, have double added it double. And the next one to be the wall and yes, we'll take this particular asset. So the data set is ready. Now we shall just go and create a PCG graph. So we'll create like PCG grammar. Yes, and the first thing first, get client data. So we have the spline as a child or a component. We have the spline as a component for this PCG, right? So there is no need to reference it. So it's self, and we need to and attribute. Yes. So we need to create two parameters. So the first one is going to be the string, and let me just rename it to grammar. You can give it any name. Okay. So here is the formula how we want to construct these meshes on this plane. So let me just put like it's gate and wall star. So what happens? So at the beginning of the spline, a gate is spawned, and after that we have a wall, and the star represents like infinite wall like, until the end of the spline, right? And we have another property, and I want to refer it to the data asset that we have created, right? So we'll put like grammar, the grammar data set, and it is of the mesh. So let me rename it to grammar data set. So we need to get the parameter. Grammar, we need to get grammar. Yes. We need to get to the attribute, then divide subdivide spline. So we need to divide the spline. So we are going to divide it by 2. So the first is we need to have a gate. So if I just look into my asset size, if I open up my gate, it comes around like 310, right? So let me just put the value of 310. And the next, so we need to make it scalable. And the other one, wall. So hardly the wall size should just check. Uh, yeah, so it's 350. So 350 units, scalable. Yes. Then we match it, match. So we need to match the properties. Right? So we also get, let me just, it's grammar data set, right? So here we have a property. So we are going to get the property from this data set, and it is of the type meshes. Not wrong. Let me just check. So if I go to the PCG graph, so okay, it's grammar mesh. So we need to just go over here. We need to put in grammar mesh. So if you put the right name, you'll be able to get property. So we got it. So we'll match it, and we spawn the mesh. So we need to use the mesh selector type to selector by attribute. So yeah, so here you need to match it to the mesh. When you're working with the grammar, you need to be careful about few key areas. So one is being the static mesh spawner, where you need to put in, so the mesh is being selected by the attribute name, right? So you need to put in the right attribute name. To look into the meshes, so we have the mesh and the symbol as the keyword. So in the match and the set attributes, so you need to put in the match attribute, the correct one. So here we are using the symbol. So corresponding, the symbol is taken and its corresponding mesh is being assigned in the static mesh spawner. Okay. So we are getting the data from the data set, and this particular node helps us in getting the property reference, and it gives to this particular node. So in the subdivide, yes, we do have the modules, right? So we put in the right symbol name, and the corresponding size is being occupied. Okay. So here, if you look at the attribute, so we are going with the gate first and the wall. So in the demonstration, the gate comes first and the wall the next. In case if I'm just putting it like the vice versa, and I can find, so it changes, it goes like wall and the gate. So if I just put uh, even you can just include like a pillar, a wall, pillar, gate, and again pillar and wall. So what happens? So here we don't have the pillar, so we get a space for it. And yes, so you need to add some pillars in the data set, and you need to put it here. And also in the modules, you need to add uh, as pillar, you put in the right size. Okay, fine. So yes, so here we, if you don't give it like scale, so we need to give it like scale, and yes, so here, okay, it means we have duplicated. Okay, fine. Hmm. So let me just quickly disable this thing. Okay, we'll go with the next part. So according to our previous, at the beginning of the session, we were planning to make some bunkers along uneven terrain, right? So for the demonstration, let me just bump up the surface a little bit. So something like this, okay? And I'm going to use the path. So for the demonstration, let me create two actors, and let me just rename it as start. So we shall put this actor here, duplicate and put it as end. So we need to use tank and start as start. Uh, so we place one guy over here. Hmm. So we'll make this volume a little bit larger. So fine. So we have two actors, and the first thing we are going to do is get landscape data, and we are going to sample the surface to grade points. Let us keep this as the default values. So we'll come to it again later. So once the surface is sampled, so we have a bump here in middle, right? So we want to create a path around this bump and reach from start point to the end point. So yes, so we need to make normal to density, because uh, let me just explain. So here we have path finding. Yes. So we want to give it as an external data. So we'll get the actor data. So we'll use all bold letters and use the tag start, and duplicate this thing and put it like end start end. So here you need to make sure to change it to single point. So yes, same. So now we have the data, the location data, and the next we need to do is spawn the static mesh. So you have multiple options. So either you can spawn the static mesh directly, or you can do spline sampling, because the pathfinding creates a spline, and if you want to have a smooth path in that case, so you can create a spline. You can use spline on spline mesh. So earlier we were using Megascan as a board, right? Let me just use that thing for the demonstration. And if you look over here, say wall is constructed across the bump, right? So here you can find the cost function mode. It is to find the shortest distance. So let us go with another parameter like fitness score. And as I said before, here the reason for using normal to density, if you see, we are actually spawning the points, and we want it to have a different density based on the normal height, like the surface, how it is oriented, right? I'm just going with a lesser value. I get some dark points, right? So I want these areas to be avoided and create a path along the surface which is flat and having the density of white, right? So if I remove the debug, and now you can find I have found a path which is away from this form, and even I can just go with some the search distance value to be maybe 800, and find a different path which is much more smoother. If I just go here, you can find it is a smooth wall along this kind of, like, say, uh, a fort around mountain, right? Kind of. That's how it looks like, and it has come out pretty good. So at the beginning, our goal is to create uh, sandbag difference, right? Kind of. So in that case, what we can do is we can, instead of creating spline mesh, we can spawn static mesh, and so we can create. So we have imported this handbag, right? Let me, so here we do have sandbags have been arranged along the path. Okay, that's it. Then, so today we have seen how to create uh, a structured uh, mesh placement using Grammer, using the input, how we want to place the meshes. So in a particular order. So the star represents indefinite number of meshes of a particular. So here it is the wall, before and after. And in case if you want 2 pillars or 3 pillars, okay, so in that case you can just put the numbers. If you want 2 gates, so you can just put the numbers, and accordingly they are taken into account. And the other is we were using the pathfinding. So we were getting a landscape data, we were sampling the surface. So we were defining the starting and ending point for the pathfinding. And the pathfinding creates a spline sampler. And we have created a spline, and we have spawned the mesh along the spline. So I hope you guys find this tutorial useful. Thank you.